Welcome to the Buck Stops here, the official audio program of NotInHallOfFame.com, and I'm your host, Kirk Buchner, the Buck, the owner and the operator of NotInHallOfFame.com and the sister sites, the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, which we talked about last week, and the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which we're going to talk about today. It's Season 1, Episode 27 of the Hall of Fame show, and my co-host, Evan Nolan, and I, we're going to look at the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall and the semi-finalists that have been decided by all of you. Some are surprises, some are not surprises, and if you don't like it, hey, you're the ones who decided it, so it's all on you. We're also going to look at a couple of key passings, specifically that of Charlie Daniels, one of the great country music singers of all time, and I don't know, I just sort of feel like hearing The Devil Went Down in Georgia. We're going to talk a bit more of that today. Without further ado, let's bring in Evan. Evan, how you doing, brother? Things good in Chicago?
Yeah, they're hot, man. This is like, we've had like 2 weeks where it's been over 90 every day. Nobody knows what to do. My boss, who was previously in Atlanta, was wondering if he'd moved back. So, how are the islands?
Same as always. Actually, I'm going deep sea fishing tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm
going to be going lake fishing in a couple weeks.
So no matter how big the fish I actually catch, it's going to be this big.
Yeah. You know how big, sorry, that joke's not going to work over the interwebs without a visual. But there's a joke in Maine. You know how successful was the one-armed fisherman? He caught a fish this big, but you only used one hand. Anyway, yeah, that's what I realized partway through, but I went through it then anyway. It's always better in person.
Usually this stuff never stops me before. So why should it now?
As Fozzie Bear said on the first Muppets record, what, you couldn't hear my ears wiggle?
Waka, waka, waka.
Waka, waka, waka.
Love it.
So, anyway, so not much has happened this week, huh? You know, just Alberta reinstating child labor. That was pretty cool. What else happened this week? President Trump pardoned another guy who was convicted of, lying to people about helping him.
Well, he might as well, because he's only got a few more months to do all this shit.
That's true. So, and half of Oklahoma now apparently doesn't belong to the state of Oklahoma anymore.
I saw that. What does this mean?
Well, it means temporarily, at least, that the state of Oklahoma can't prosecute members of the Creek people and anywhere for any crime they commit in land that was ceded to them in the Treaty of 1832 and reinforced in 1866.
But they can to everyone else?
Yeah, temporarily that's what that means. So people who can prosecute them are tribal authorities or the federal government could under the treaty. But what that means is there's 6 death row inmates I think are going to be getting off death row in Oklahoma, and like 40-some-odd convictions are going to be thrown out.
I'm sure whatever they come up with, it'll be better than the police in Chaz in Seattle.
Yeah, well, yes. Everything is normal.
Well, you know how messed up the world is. Right now, Gary Bettman is actually proving himself as a Hall of Fame-worthy inductee. He's better now that he's in the Hall of Fame. What world are we living in? We've got hockey coming up, and I think might be the only sport that's going to work. I'm super stoked for it, and it looks like they're going to be back for the Olympics in 2022.
Well, that's good. They're going to need that.
I'm sure that's going to draw in China, but still.
Yeah. I'm not sure any of these sports are how well they're going to work. Baseball should work better, just because nobody needs to actually be close to each other in baseball. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have no idea how football is going to work whatsoever. There's just accidental spittle all over the place. But hey, to their credit, they're banning group celebrations after the game in the exchange of jerseys. So COVID is solved.
Yeah, they've also sort of like banned in the bubble dual ping pong.
Oh, well, that's also good news. And the NCAA solved it by eliminating out-of-conference games. So
that I actually like in terms of football, because those random ones that I don't know. I'm sort of I kind of like to see how that's going to play going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see.
But at the same time, though, you heard what Devin White is doing, right?
I have not, but whatever he's doing, it's got to be better than Deshaun Jackson.
Oh yeah, well they're bad in different ways. Devin White's hosting a party for 2,000 people.
Jesus Christ.
Coming up. So all the Buccaneers will all have COVID. But yeah, Deshaun Jackson.
Wow. I mean, okay. I just dropped a show with a lady named Fonda Bryant, who I had the chance to speak with her because she's the daughter of Johnny Taylor, the soul singer of the 70s. And she's actually, I think I talked to you about her. She's going to be part of our USA Hall of Fame group. Yep. Yeah. So we did a whole show on race and everything, and sort of like a bit of a talk about white privilege. And she told me one thing that I'm always going to sort of remember. It's okay to have awkward conversations. I'm going to say something super awkward, and I know you're thinking that's never stopped me before. There's a bit of black privilege going on here with Deshaun Jackson, because if Drew Brees would have said that,
yeah. I mean, the fact he wasn't thrown off the team was interesting.
You're quoting Hitler on Twitter, and praising in a good way. I honestly, I don't even know what to say other than, holy shit. What more can you say beyond that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting, though, hearing Julian Edelman's take on it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Edelman, who is probably at least actively the best Jewish player in the NFL, was very almost eloquent in the way he handled it and talked about things like that, because he's in years past has been brought up with him. And he's like, it's not really religious. It's more heritage with me and everything like that. It was just interesting the way he dealt with it. I thought that was pretty good. So we're all learning a lot about everyone's opinions and where things go these days.
Mm-hmm.
So
some good, some not so good. But one thing that I'll always say is I will always defend your right to say anything stupid.
Right, but you also have to understand that if you say something stupid, that doesn't leave you free from consequences.
Absolutely.
Of your stupidity.
Absolutely.
That's the thing that everyone always talks about their rights and nobody ever talks about their responsibilities. It's just because if you say something stupid and get called out on it, that's not people stifling your free speech. That's people hearing what you had to say and rejecting you.
Well, sure, and that's I agree with that. I completely agree with that. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequence. Totally.
Right.
But stifling free speech in history, and virtually every history in the world, has always resulted in an underground movement to push against it. So that's sort of my take on it. So let's just use Deshaun right now as an example. So he's saying something out there, and I don't want to say, I hate, it always sounds so condescending saying he was educated, but he was brought out with a different opinion, like, okay, well, maybe this is why you don't say that, and hopefully he sort of takes the high road, kind of like Drew Brees. I'll use him as an example. I'm still stunned weeks later that he would have said vocally on Yahoo Finance, again, Yahoo Finance, like you said, what the hell? That, he didn't understand why people would kneel, and if anyone should have got it, if any white guy should have got it, would be an NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. And, when he says he's learning from that, he's old, he's 40, I'm 40, I'm going to be 48 next month. I still want to get as much information on the world as possible so that I can refine my opinion. Why would I not assume he's not the same? I want to believe in the good.
Right, of course. And people have opinions that, and it like you said, it's interesting. Breeze, it took the backlash of his 3 best players unfollowing him on Twitter and Instagram for him to maybe be like, wait a second, maybe something's wrong here. Mm-hmm. But at least he had that realization from something. And people have the opportunity to go back and learn something and grow and everything like that. There's no question about that. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't think anyone's actually here. They're here to talk about the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, and
that's what we're here about.
Yes, so we've got 2 deaths that we wanted to talk about. One, a pretty big deal in the country music world that just passed away a few days ago, Charlie Daniels. Country Music Hall of Fame inductee. I don't know that much about him. I'm not a country music guy, never have been. It's a genre that I respect the hell out of, and I've been, I don't say dragged to country bars, but I've gone with, friends who are country music fans to bars where they're playing live country, and I think it's incredible. I love it, but never do I put that on the radio. Never have I bought an album. Never do I listen to that on iTunes or Spotify. But if The Devil Went Down to Georgia is not one of the greatest country rock songs ever, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I it's hard to argue that, but the one thing I've always wondered about that song is how the devil didn't actually win. I mean, that solo the devil plays with like the multiple notes, everything going back and forth is pretty goddamn amazing. Yeah, but no, I mean, Devil Went Down to Georgia is as iconic a song as there is in all country music.
But I honestly don't know another song by him.
Yeah, I'm looking for ones that you might know. So outside of that, I don't know, did you know Uneasy Rider or Long Haired Country Boy?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. He hit the country chart so many times, including up through 2000, and his last charting single was 2003. But actually, he charted as a contributor on Aaron Lewis's song "Country Boy," along with George Jones. Back in 2010, that song went platinum. But yeah, I mean, he's a member of the Music Hall of Fame. He's a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. I mean, an absolute legend that a lot of people think is a one-hit wonder if you're not familiar with country music.
Yeah.
But he is, yeah, I mean, he's one of the most well-known musicians in America and another very politically outspoken person on the political spectrum. So
yeah, I believe Fox News is doing a profile on him tonight.
Yeah, well, his last tweet was Benghazi won't go away. So
well,
he is in their demographic.
Yeah, I guess we'll stay away from sort of politics there, but R.I.P. Charlie Daniels. You'll be missed in many circles, and I'm gonna try and actually source out some of his old music, just because again, country is one of those genres. Mad respect for, just never got into it, never felt it. Despite me mentioning a couple weeks ago that I love Dukes of Hazzard, it never really translated to me wanting to go to the Boar's Nest. Well, actually, I did, but just to see Daisy.
Yeah, I understand. Like I've told you before, I like the Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard era of country music more. Although there are some songs out there that Jason Boland to the Stragglers I like quite a bit, and some other country adjacent ones like Jason Ritter. And people who I enjoy their stuff quite a bit. But, yeah, the She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy is not what I'm going for.
Nice. And so we got a second big one. You want to open up on that particular passing?
Yeah, I mean, he's not in any Hall of Fame that we're going to cover, but Ennio Morricone, who was the composer, I think the best way for people who aren't familiar with him, probably off the top of their heads, is that he's the Italian version of John Williams. He's the guy who scored for so many of those spaghetti westerns back in the 60s, and you can keep going through. Just incredible. I mean, A Fistful of Dollars. God, what else? That's the first one
Few
comes to
Dollars
mind.
More and the iconic Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I think...
Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
I think that theme actually charted on Billboard.
Yeah, it actually may have. That I don't know. But he's the Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained. He did The Mission. Did you ever see The Mission?
No, I haven't.
That's a very good movie. I've seen that multiple times. Jeremy Irons, Robert De Niro, about missionaries who go to the waterfalls of Iguazu between Argentina and Portugal when Spain and Portugal make a deal to exchange territory and try and take the natives as slaves. It's a very interesting film. I highly recommend it.
Okay, yeah.
It's really good. It was nominated for Best Picture, and it's a fantastic film. And he did good scoring for that one too.
I think if I'm not mistaken, Morricone won an Oscar. Was it a Golden Globe for? Was it The Hateful Eight?
I think Hateful Eight. Correct. I think that was one of the last ones he just did. Or not too long ago. Yeah,
so we won the Oscar for that. I forget. I know it was like Tarantino was there and he got the standing O. And, it was just sort of great to see. Well, at that point, I didn't know he was still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, but listen, some other ones he has. The Untouchables, Once Upon a Time in America, The Exorcist 2, Battle of Algiers. I never know how to say this. La Cage aux Folles. I never know how to say that.
La Cage aux Folles.
La Cage aux Folles. Thank you. The Professional.
Part Quebecer. Finally came into use.
About time. It's 27 episodes in.
It is.
Bugsy, Mission to Mars, Exposure, In the Line of Fire, Bowler. There's so many of them. So, yeah, he actually was 9 days younger than that. So, born in November of 1928. So he passed the age of 91 this week.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is my favorite Western ever.
It's hard to argue there are many better than that.
I love everything about that film. I hope to God nobody ever tries to remake that because they want to remake everything.
Well, I do have to say I've enjoyed the one little bit I've seen of the make-at-home remake they are doing of The Princess Bride. If you're going to do a remake, they might as well do it the crazy fun way they're doing it that way.
How are they doing it?
Fezzik's being played by Shaq, and Sarah Cooper, who's making all the noise, is the person who's lip-syncing Trump, is playing Inigo Montoya, and they have John Malkovich is involved, and it's actually going to be the last role for what's his name, who passed away last week at the age of 98. Come on, from Ocean's 11. His wife was the one who said, "I'll have what she's having."
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner, Reiner. Thank you, Carl Reiner. So
Carl Reiner.
Carl Reiner's last role. He's taking the part of Peter Falk. So it's campy and fun. If you're going to remake it, just do something like that. That's not meant to be taken seriously, but it's everyone's doing it from their own Zoom department or whatever.
Probably the only time Shaq doesn't suck.
What?
Probably the only time Shaq doesn't suck as an actor.
Well, he doesn't have very much to say. His range doesn't have to be very big. So, but anyway, yes, no, I agree with you. That is a movie that should never be made.
No, never. Just never try to do anything with that. I might watch that again on Netflix. I got one of those VPNs, so I can sort of browse the world. So one thing you sort of learn when you're living in the island, you got to be a little bit creative when it comes to watching of material. I'll leave it at that.
I will say the other day I watched a Western, one of my favorites, nowhere near as good. As Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but I watched The Quick and the Dead the other day.
That's my guilty pleasure Western.
Definitely the best acting job ever by a tournament bracket.
That's why I love it, though. I mean, I'm a sucker for all these tournaments.
Yeah. And that's a tournament that actually makes sense, as opposed to a few others that we've talked about over the years.
Very true. Very true. I highly recommend watching Quick and the Dead, even though, Sharon Stone isn't exactly the best in it. But the whole concept, I love it. One and done, literally.
And you get a real young Leo in there. It's I like it. That's a good one to watch. But anyway, we should probably get to our topic for the day.
Yeah, I think that's sort of a decent segue. The Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced officially about an hour ago, and this time I sent it to you, so you're not going in blind.
I am not, which is fantastic, because there are a couple of these I'm not quite sure who they are.
Well, I thought it was fun, though, doing it that way.
Oh, that's great. No, I absolutely agree. But a lot of those reasons, I'm like, okay, I at least know what movie that is. I can honestly say, I think I brought it up with you, I have no idea who Diane Lane's character is, what that movie is, or anything about it. So.
All right. So you said let's do it sort of fun, sort of like do some of the lightweights first.
Yeah.
I think
that, because how many of them are there? There are 50 again?
Yeah, about that. I think I actually wound up being 49, but yes, some really weird ones, some ones that have been semi-finalists before that just never showed up. You just never know. Mm-hmm. You just don't know who's going to vote. Alphabetism definitely played a part, and I'll start that with probably my biggest surprise, Apollonia.
Yeah. It was interesting, Apollonia on here. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Apollonia, who's, if you're thinking, well, that's Prince's girlfriend, she was real. Yeah, she was. She played a character in the nighttime soap opera Falcon Crest called Apollonia. So it was a real stretch for her as an actress. She was a cocktail waitress who turned into a singer. Got a bit of a story arc. The only thing I remember about Falcon Crest as a kid is I thought it had an amazing intro song.
Yeah, I think we had to play in band. That was like one.
Well, it's Dallas.
That's Dallas. Okay, I'm sorry, man.
No, Falcon Crest was dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
Starring Jane Wyman. Why I remember that, I don't know.
Jane Wyman could have been First Lady of the United States.
Could have been. She wouldn't have said no.
Right. Yeah.
Well, she wouldn't have said just say no. Or not, I don't know.
Well, I will say, I have, not that I thought I'd be talking about Jane Wyman, but my wife and I had that movie project. We were trying to watch every movie ever nominated for Best Picture. Mm-hmm. And she won Best Actress for a movie called Johnny Belinda back in 1947, which was about a deaf mute girl in Nova Scotia who was raped in 1910. And we came to this thing like, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. And she was fantastic in that film. That movie.
What do you have to compare it to?
How are we watching this? To my God, that was really good.
Like how do you compare that to anything else?
Yeah, I know. So, like, how do you figure they're going to deal with rape in 1910 in Canada in a movie from 1947? But she was super, super good. Anyway, I never thought about Jane Wyman.
Well, I mean,
so yeah, back to Apollonia.
Well, there's nothing more to say. I mean, she got here. To the people who voted for her. I mean, okay, I think I know why, but I don't see her on the planet. I don't see. Well, one time she was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see her going any further than this.
Mm-hmm. How many finalists are we going to get out of this?
15.
15, okay.
Yeah. So another bit of a surprise, but far more fun, from the Monty Python, and I think there's a bit of alphabetism that we talked about last week, Arthur Ewing and his musical Mice.
Yes, the British version of, oh my God, who's the character from The Muppet Show who hits everybody over the head?
Probably where they got
Marvin Suggs.
Yeah.
Marvin Suggs and his musical Muffaphone.
How the hell did I not nominate that?
I don't know. Well, you can get him on for next time. I'm excited. We'll get to someone I'm sure much later, but I'm excited for one of the people who showed up here. But yeah, I'm viewing his musical Mice from Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Yeah, I think a one-off sketch. He just basically hit a bunch of mice in a bag to make them shriek. That was it.
Yeah. Yep. That's essentially, I guess it predates probably the Muppet Show, but it's essentially Martin Suggs' shtick as well. Although he did Lady of Spain, and I believe that, didn't he do The Bells of St. Mary?
I think it was Bells of St. Mary.
I think that was the song that he did. So, yeah, another little surprise there. And I have to say another one that surprised me, I already brought her up, so I'll say it now, is I know nothing about Ellen Aim.
You know what? It's one of those ones that, just when I was doing research to put all this together, I don't know that much about her either. I only saw that movie like once because of it, and I only saw it because the one that I think Diane Lane should be nominated for here, but isn't, and I think I sent you the link for this. It was The Fabulous Stains.
Yeah, right.
Did you?
You did send me.
Did you see that yet?
I have not. You sent it to me, and I have not seen it.
Okay,
that's on me.
Yeah, no, all good. I mean, like, you're the one with the regular job, not me. So yeah, Ellen Aim, just from like an early '80s film. I think probably the third time she sort of played a sultry singer. I don't know how this one sort of got through. Maybe the picture I used, because she's looking pretty attractive. Put it that way.
She is Diane Lane.
She is Diane Lane. Far too pretty to be Superman's mom at this stage, but so is Marissa Tomei. But hey, whatever. But then Marissa Tomei was flirting with Iron Man, and those two were in a movie 20 years ago. So I don't know. I give myself a headache when I think about this stuff too much.
Yeah, probably true.
Yeah. So, Streets of Fire, she's just essentially the ingenue who gets kidnapped in the film.
Okay. Yeah, because I had nothing to say about that one. I also don't know what to say, honestly, and I know sort of what it's about. But Connor For Real?
Yeah, that's Andy Samberg. And actually, it's a pretty good... I don't know if that was ever released on the mainstream. I just know I saw that on Netflix. So he's just sort of like playing sort of like the white rapper type. Lots of great cameos by a lot of funny people in the SNL world.
Mm-hmm.
So he's part of a boy band that sort of, and then he goes solo, and then everything falls apart.
Okay.
So like typical sort of Samberg, which if you like him, like his stuff, this is fantastic. If you don't like him, then don't bother.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so another first-time semi-finalist, I guess, around there. I don't know if you know this. Don Music from Sesame Street. The producers of Sesame Street took that character off the show because they were worried that too many kids were imitating him, banging his head on the piano keys, saying, "I'll never get it, never." They were right to do so. I was one of those kids who did that.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Might explain a few things, huh?
Yes, it very well might. Yeah, Don Music is one of the most self-defeated and probably most realistic interpretations of a composer of all time.
I think he's the only singer-songwriter. Right? Oh, no, he's not. He's not. There's another one.
Don Music, one of the Muppets, along with, Forgetful Jones and Bruno, the one guy who used to carry Oscar around whenever he wanted to go anywhere. There are a few others who just have. Was it a Roosevelt Franklin?
Yeah, that one. Maybe that one might not have been the most well thought out one, but they were trying to be inclusive.
They were trying, and they didn't know any better at the time. They were trying to figure it out. But yeah, no, Don Music is. You and I are of the right age for him to have been an important part of our TV watching lives when we were kids. So it's nice to see him there for the first time, even if he's a character that nobody under the age of 30 has ever seen or heard of. No, and just setting it up then, basically what he would do is he'd try to write something at the start of every sketch, and then he couldn't figure it out, and then he goes, "I'll never get it, never!"
bang his head on the keyboard. Bong! I mean, if they didn't do, if the Sesame Street didn't do such a good job with the audio, why would it? I wouldn't have tried.
Always blame the sound department. That's a good sign, good thing to do.
Well, I'm going to bring up my dad, who told me the worst piece of advice that I not randomly, I use it all the time. He said to me many times, "Only an idiot blames himself." And I've repeated that every time I've done something colossally idiotic. To this day.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who can only blame themselves, or shouldn't blame themselves, Mark Wahlberg's group Steel Dragon.
Oh.
Give me the argument for them.
First time semi-finalist. Actually, I know a lot of people didn't see this movie. I understand it's a box office bomb. Guilty pleasure of mine. Based on Judas Priest, Mark Wahlberg does everything he can to look like and sound like the lead singer of Steel Dragon, and in a weird turn of events, he becomes their lead singer when they kick out their existing lead singer who wanted to sort of like have his own solo career. And eventually, I think at the end of the movie, he did with puppets or something.
Okay.
Whether that's going to get that further, I don't know. Probably not. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know how many other people feel the same way. Apparently a few others, because here it is.
Yep.
And Jennifer Aniston is in that. I thought she was pretty good in that film. Younger Timothy Olyphant. I would never know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Timothy Olyphant, if we're mispronouncing your name, please come on the show next week and let us know.
Exactly. So no, it's not a bad film. Have you not seen it?
I have not. No, I know nothing about that film.
Okay. So then before we went on, we were talking briefly about Strange Fruit, another weird semi-finalist first time. A good sort of like rock film for what it was. Bill Nye, who some people might remember in Pirates of the Caribbean. What was his character in that?
Bill Nye. I don't know the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise well. I always think of him actually in a music role from his role in the
Love Actually?
The terrible Christmas movie where he's the rock star and is actually in love with his roadie. But they're like all the people.
He wasn't in love with his roadie. It's just like that. That was the platonic sort of friend love.
Right. I understand.
Don't
I understand. My
this.
company did a whole thing on the 3 types of love. I understand it's platonic. But yeah, from Love Actually, that's always when I think Bill Nye as a musician. Mm-hmm. That's the first role I think of him in. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because this felt very Bert and Ernie Crowbarred.
Bert and Ernie's got 3 kids. It's fine.
So it was a 70s rock band. They play it, I guess it's supposed to be sort of a symbolic to the Glastonbury Festival or the Isle of Wight. Lightning bolt sort of strikes down on their performance. I forget if it killed a member or not. And they reunited 20 years later. And essentially sort of like still crazy after all these years. Not a bad film. Not great, but not bad. And I love Bill Nye. I love almost everything he does.
Yeah, agreed. He's really fun to watch. He's a really good actor. So,
is there another one here before we sort of like get to the sort of like, I guess the mid-level that you want to sort of go through?
Well, I think I have to say, as much as there are a few who are part of big shows, but let's just go to the Folksmen, who I remember from SNL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Michael McKean is a member, and answer a trivia question in case anyone ever asks it. Michael McKean is the only person who has ever been a cast member, the musical act, and the host of Saturday Night Live, by the way.
Whoa. Was he the musical act with Spinal Tap?
With Spinal Tap, yeah.
Okay.
So he's been a host, a cast member, and a musician. But the Folksmen, they did a couple of them, right? They were, Saturday Night Live and from a Mighty Wind as well, right?
Well, yeah, Mighty Wind. So they did a Saturday Night Live bit, and then they then a whole film sort of around that, following Spinal Tap years later, because it's the same three core guys: McKean, Harry Shearer, and Christopher Guest.
Christopher Guest.
Yes, yeah. And just if you love Spinal Tap, you got to go see this film. It didn't do as well, but it's brilliant, I think. If I remember correctly, actually no, this is true. So like the Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, they had one song from that actually got nominated for the Oscars. I remember they performed.
Sorry, you broke up there. Try that again.
The Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, I think it was Mickey and I was going to say Mickey and Maude, but that's not right. That's a film starring Dudley Moore from the early 80s. Featuring with Andre the Giant in it. So go figure. Andre makes the podcast twice.
And he should make every podcast. That should really be a rule. We need to figure out how to get him in.
Absolutely. Mickey and Mitch.
Mickey and Mitch, okay.
Yeah, Mickey and Mitch. And that's one of their songs, or I guess their only song from that, was nominated for an Oscar for Best Song, and they performed it at the Oscars in character.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And Captain O'Hara reunites with Eugene Levy in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I've got to see that. You think as a Canadian I would, but I haven't.
My wife has gotten into it over the quarantine, and I started watching a few episodes with her. Like, we each have a show we don't think the other person's going to watch, so we just watch it. For me, it's Bosch, and there are a few others I've watched. But for her, it's been Schitt's Creek. But I've caught a few, and I guess the first couple seasons are tough to get through, but after season 3, 4 that I've seen, it's absolutely fantastic. So I highly recommend Schitt's Creek.
It's kind of different here for our Netflix viewing. If it's Korean or Taiwanese or Chinese and it's a drama and it's 20 parts, my wife's going to watch it.
So who's your K-pop band then?
None. I don't get any of this stuff. I'll look up in the screen and then she gets mad at me because I say, which one's the guy?
Okay.
No, because they're so goddamn pretty. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just getting old, Evan. I think that's it.
Well, it's going to happen to all of us.
It reminds me of a sort of a Simpsons bit. You ever see that one with Abe Simpson and I think it was the Homer Palooza episode?
That one's not ringing a bell. I probably have. Say what you're going to say, and I'll see if I remember.
All right. So Homer's realizing his age, and then he takes his kids to, I guess, I don't know if they called it Lollapalooza. They might have. They might not have. And it was the episode where the Smashing Pumpkins, Cypress Hill.
Yeah. I've seen that episode. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and they were doing a flashback on that, and I this becomes so true for me, especially right now. So there's Homer and Barney Gumble. They're in Homer's bedroom singing Leo Sayers' "You Make Me Feel Like Dancing."
Okay.
Abe Simpson comes in and says, What are you guys doing? It's called rocking out. You just don't understand because you're old. And then Abe says, this I know I've got. I don't have to paraphrase. I used to be with it, and then they changed what it was. And what it is now is strange and confusing, and it'll happen to you.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a very good segue to probably our next tier up, by the way, with the B sharps.
Yes. Yeah, okay, the B sharps, the Simpsons, Grammy winners.
True.
Yeah, Grammy winners, multi-time finalists. They were the ones I thought were going to get in before Bleeding Gums Murphy. That's for damn sure.
True.
But hey,
true.
All of your votes count equally. So, who am I to say?
Yeah, I guess they're probably higher tier than the middle tier here. But we already talked in Simpsons, so I figured I'd throw them in there.
Oh, why not?
At that point.
Why not?
Yeah, and I'm a little disappointed that Faith Plus One from South Park didn't make it this time.
So am I. Same with Timmy and the Lord of the Underworld. Lords of the Underworld.
Timmy and the Lord of the Underworld. Yeah. So that next level up, then how about the Boogaloos? Or Bugaloos? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, That one just they keep becoming finalists. I never saw this.
I never did either.
Yeah, so that's a little bit before my time. I don't really remember a lot of that, but apparently a lot of you listening do, because they've been a finalist twice. They've never not been a semifinalist. So I don't know. It was only lasted 1 year. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, it says 17 episodes from 1970 to 72. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Boogaloos other than they definitely look like Sid and Marty Krofft created them, and they did.
Oh, that shit just... Some of that stuff, I mean, like, it felt like an acid trip before I knew what an acid trip was.
Yeah. A lot of the 70s were the 70s were the last decade without consequences, and so things were tried in the 70s. Yeah,
so you know what? Let's do all the 70s ones who are left.
Okay. All right, go for it.
All right, so let me move up right back up here. All right, so this one, multiple semifinalists. Alice Bowie, Cheech and Chong, pretty much based on the musical strength of Cheech. I don't think Chong, really added much to any of that.
Right. Well, I mean, we saw Tommy Chong try and sing as a pineapple on the first character ever eliminated from The Masked Singer, and I can tell you, he cannot sing. So yeah. Although I did enjoy his musical stylings on "Born in East LA," their take on the Bruce Springsteen "Born in the USA" song.
Oh, Cheech! Every time he tries to be a serious actor, it just never works out.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was going to defend it, but no, you're right.
I like Cheech, but it's.
I did too.
Cheech should only just be Cheech.
Well, I mean, Nash Bridges, he was a thing, sort of.
I never saw that.
Else. I mean, it's hard to take a show seriously when Don Johnson is fronting it. I appreciate that, but he wasn't bad there. So, anyway. All right, what else we got?
All right, so from
which one do you want to go to next?
Well, if we're going to stick with the 70s, then we got Figrin' Dan and the Modal Nodes from Star Wars.
Yeah, they are a band. Hold on a second here. Here we go. So they are a bunch of guys in bodysuits. They only have one song, right?
Well, they had a second song. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they haven't somehow snuck in with the Star Wars contention as of yet.
With whom?
With everyone who loves Star Wars. I'm so surprised nobody's actually voted them in, just because of how many people love Star Wars.
Well, maybe because they only played the two songs.
Well, true, but I mean, what did Bleeding Gums Murphy play?
Yeah, and he was killed off after his first appearance.
Yeah, pretty early on. He and Dr. Marvin Monroe, two very popular characters.
Correction, they were never popular.
Thank you for knocking it off the tee.
Yeah, well, every once in a while I'll do that.
So are we moving on to Leather Tuscadero?
Oh, yes. Well, no, actually, before that, Josie and the Pussycats from the 70s.
Yeah, Josie and the Pussycats is a pretty heavy contender, in my opinion, to get in.
I think so. Not the film. This is specifically the
Correct.
TV show. You can vote for the film separately. No one ever does.
And for good reason.
Mm-hmm. Although I do think the casting was perfect, just the film was crap.
Fair enough. Yeah, Josie and the Pussycats is one of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons from growing up that, even though it ended technically before either of us were born, I think, it still was in heavy rotation and a show that everybody enjoyed, at least as a child, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and they just wound up in outer space. I don't even know how the hell that happened.
It was the 70s. Everything got tried, man. I'm telling you.
Everyone went to space. I mean, there was... I think even Happy Days had a cartoon where they went into space. Speaking of which...
remember those wacky races? And then there's, like, wacky space races?
I don't remember wacky space races. What the hell was I on?
That, probably years left on planet Earth. I don't know how long that lasted. I do remember there being just a couple, maybe just a couple episodes for all I know. But I do remember that happening as well.
Love it. So yeah, Susie Quattro, Leather Tuscadero.
Yes. Susie Quattro, someone who might garner some thoughts for the actual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Her big hit, if I remember correctly, was "Do the Fonzie," right?
Well, from this show, yeah.
Right. Not Susie Quattro in real life's big hit.
Yeah.
In terms of Leather Tuscadero, I meant.
Yeah, if I remember right, the words were "Do the Fonzie." Have you done the Fonzie today? And I think that's pretty much repeated over and over, where Fonzie comes out and helps out with the song by sort of giving thumbs up and then moving around.
I'm pretty sure she opened for Weezer, though, right? In that show?
They had to have used some of that dancing from that for that video. The greatest, one of the greatest videos ever done. That particular. When I look back, I can't think of anyone who was supposed to be so cool, but then, Jesus, there's nothing cool about this guy. Yeah, I don't know. It was a different time. He's a avatar of nostalgia of a generation gone by. I'll argue that Fonzie at the end of the show turned into a nerd. Probably true. Yeah, because I mean, because they actually moved the years in Happy Days, so it would have ended in 1966 in their timeline. Yeah, maybe. That I don't know. I'm still wondering what happened to Richie Cunningham's older brother. So he's somewhere with the middle sister in Family Matters. Only not doing a porn. Richie Cunningham's older brother went out to shoot baskets and never returned. No. Was it her, Jamie Winslow? Who's the other? There's a few that just disappeared. Yeah. All right. So who are we moving to next? Marvin Berry and the Starlighters? Well, a different decade. I think there's a few more 70s. Oh, okay. All right. So Pink from The Wall. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Marvin Berry, of course. They were Back to the Future. I apologize. Yeah, Pink from The Wall. Go ahead. Yeah. So you ever see that movie? I have not. All right. So I saw that. So for those not aware, it's based on The Wall from Pink Floyd. And it's a messed up film. So I saw that one time sober. This was back in the college days. And no, this has nothing to do with the midget on the pool table before you jump in there. I can't believe I told you that. And everyone here listening. But hey, I'm an open book for the whole world to see. So I watched that with, I forget who I was. It was someone I was dating at the time. And watched it sober. And I was like, this is a mess. And then she said, like, well, we gotta watch this stoned. And then I did. And then I was drinking a lot, and then I passed out. So I don't really remember. It's just really strange. So Pink, played by Bob Geldof, who 3-4 years later would become the Band-Aid, Live Aid guy. Yep. And is now knighted. So yeah. No, yeah, and sung the song about a mass murderer. I don't like Mondays with the Boomtown Rats. Mm-hmm. Great song. Great song. Disturbing song when you realize what it's about. But great song. Yes. No. Very, very true. Very true. Let's see what. Oh, so we got a couple more 70s here. The Archies. Yeah. Oh, I skipped over one. Rolf the dog, because he started in the 70s. I guess that's true. Ralph is the first Muppet. Was he the first Muppet? Yeah, he was the one. He was a regular on Ed Sullivan Show. Oh my God! Okay.
Yeah, so Ralph was the first one. Well, he had other Muppets, but Ralph was the first one to go mainstream of all the Muppets, and still to this day my favorite Muppet. I'm a massive fan of Ralph.
Did they show him, like, I know for, like, the opening season of Saturday Night Live, the Muppets were featured. Was Rolf one of them? I would imagine so.
He must have been.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think
is he technically in already with the
no
with Dr. Teeth?
No, because he just sort of showed up once in a while. He wasn't always in the band.
Okay, just wondering. So because I was trying to figure out who's going to be our Clyde McFadden.
If anyone, it's going to be Ralph.
It could very well be. So, yeah, no, Ralph is, like I said, one of my absolute favorite Muppets. It's amazing how much expression he seems to get between his ears and everything else with like, just not being able to change expression. He's, like, at least with Kermit, you can, like, crumple up his face and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Ralph is just basically a coconut with eyes. And still is somehow one of the most emotive of the Muppets.
It's the voice, man.
And the voice and hell of a good sport. And he shares my love of stupid songs. So,
I love the Muppets. I'll never not love the Muppets.
Yeah. His song, I've never harmed an onion, but why should they make me cry is still a song I sing to my kids all the time.
And I am talking to someone who did go out, or not, as Super Grover.
Yes, I have gone out as Super Grover, but he's a different Muppet. He's on I'm talking the Muppet side of things.
I'm just...
On the Sesame, yeah, I know. Oh, no, I see what you're saying. You know, Grover is number one. But in terms of the Muppets, yeah, Ralph is the man, or the dog. So I am highly behind his candidacy for getting it.
Well, I mean, we know what happens when you advocate something, Mr. Claude Frollo.
Yeah, I guess that is true. And one of the semifinalists, again, we're going to foreshadow again, we'll eventually get to. Mm-hmm. It being on this list makes me super happy. But we're moving on to the Archies, right?
Yeah, the Archies, which... You ever have sometimes some cheesy pop songs that you just absolutely love and you don't care what anyone thinks? That's how I feel about Sugar Sugar and the Archies.
Yeah. They are, regardless of what you think about them, of all the acts on this list, they have got to be the most qualified. Mm-hmm. I mean, for the Rock Hall. They have a legitimate hit that is still in radio rotation on certain channels. Mm-hmm.
People know it.
Not many. I'm sorry?
And people know it. They're you got to figure that, like, God, I feel so old saying this. But the younger generation, but you like they're teenagers who know this. They might not know where it comes from, but they've heard dun dun sugar sugar dun 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 dun. They've heard it. Mm-hmm. Better than what I just did, but yes, they've heard that.
Only marginally. Don't sell yourself short. No, but the Archies, for me, looking at this whole list, may be my number one seed if I was going to do a tournament of these groups. And they're going to be it's close.
I think they're due.
I do too. Excuse me. As opposed to the Banana Splits, who are nightmare fuel.
That's right up there with the Bugaloos. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm clearly in the minority because they've been a finalist twice. Probably will again.
Yeah, well, let me put it this way. It's Sid and Marty Krofft again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're going to get in the next 3 or 4 years is my guess here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, though. I mean, there's no signature songs, and it was creepy. And there was some movie... there was a horror movie about the Banana Splits I at least saw a preview for within the last 18 months where the Banana Splits were going around killing people. All right, now that I think about that, I got to go find it. Hold on. Keep talking. Vamp while I figure this out.
So while you're doing that, too, one of the albums, I was obsessed with buying as many CDs as I could in my college years. So I bought this one. Actually, it sort of featured technically the Banana Splits, and it was all the sort of the grunge alt bands of the early 90s doing covers of 70s of 70s cartoon music. And
okay.
Actually, I gotta look that one up here because I just did two earlier today, thinking that this might come up, and like a moron, I didn't leave the window open.
Right.
Where is it? Saturday morning. I know I bought it. Of course, like every other CD, I don't have them anymore.
Well, I mean, we were both smart in our college years and invested in CDs.
Yeah.
So, the official trailer was released on Sci-Fi Wire for Warner Television Group's film adaptation of the Banana Splits movie. It's a family taping of the Banana Splits television series where the titular characters are animatronics, artificial intelligence, like humans in costumes. However, everyone else is still trying to survive when Fleagle, Bingo, Drooper, and Snorky become evil upon learning the cancellation of their show. In their rage, their programming malfunctions that start the killing spree around the studio.
All right, I'm going to ask you to freestyle while I go grab 2 more beers.
Okay. So the Banana Splits have had a 2019 revival. So it was a 2008 revival. I think they're around to stay regardless of what we think about it. He's getting another beer, or 3. Keeping with the 70s theme.
I brought all 3 of my remaining ones here, so now we're good. I don't have to do that to you again.
Excellent. So is the next one up the Max Rebo Band?
Actually, before we get there, do you want to hear the lineup for that album I was telling you about?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So the Banana Split song, the Tra-La-La song by Liz Phair.
Okay.
Speed Racer, Go by Sponge.
Okay, I'm into that.
Sugar Sugar covered by Mary Lou Lord, who I don't remember, and Semi-Sonic, who I do.
Mm-hmm.
This one,
unfortunate one-hit wonder Semi-Sonic. I say unfortunate because they're a much better band than one-hit wonder status. But go ahead.
Yeah. Matthew Sweet covering Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
Josie and the Pussycats theme by Juliana Hatfield.
Interesting.
Collective Soul doing the Bugaloos.
Okay.
Butthole Surfers doing the theme from Underdog.
Okay.
Helmet doing the theme from Gigantor. I don't remember Gigantor.
I don't either. I remember Helmet pretty well.
Yeah, well, here's one you definitely know. Well, not maybe this version. The Ramones covering the Spider-Man theme.
Well, actually, I think I have that one. I think I have the recording of that one on my iPod. I'm old enough to have one of those. It still works.
So am I. I only break that out every time I've got to fly.
I break that out when I have to fly or when I'm mowing the lawn.
Nice. The Reverend Horton Heat covering the Johnny Quest theme.
Okay.
Frente covering Open Up Your Heart and Let the Sunshine In, a song from the Flintstones.
Okay.
The Violent Femmes covering Eep Op Ork Ah Ah Means I Love You, a song used in the Jetsons.
Okay.
Dig doing the Fat Albert theme.
Okay.
Face to Face, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Okay.
Tripping Daisy doing Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Okay.
Toadies doing the Groovy Ghoulies.
Well, I like the Toadies too.
Sublime.
Oh, wow.
Covering the theme from Hong Kong Phooey.
Hong Kong Phooey, number one super guy. I'm not sure if that one would make it these days either.
Oh, definitely not. I was actually reading like songs that are considered racist, and they threw out Kung Fu Fighting.
Well, to be fair, not everybody could have been Kung Fu Fighting. I mean, it's inaccurate if nothing else.
Well, it depends on where he went.
I suppose that's true.
I mean, like, he could have gone somewhere.
If you Shaolin Temple, it's entirely possible.
Yeah. And I think really the racist part there was Little Sammy Chin and Little... Oh, damn it, how is it there?
Yeah.
Funky Billy Chin and little Sammy Chong. Here comes the big boss. Hoo-ha! Let's get it on. I think that's how it went. Probably not. The Murmurs doing the H&R Puffin stuff, and Wax covering Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy.
Nice.
Yeah, and the fact that exists is awesome enough for me.
Yeah, well, I know the Spider-Man one by the Ramones really, really well. So.
The Ramones could do no wrong to me. They just really can't. So where do we move off? Oh, I've got a heavyweight here of the 70s. If we're doing this by decade, they should have been in already. So this is my Claude Frollo. Everyone out there, vote for the Ruddles.
Mm-hmm.
The great, probably, before. I'm trying to do this justice. Like from the Monty Python group, well, Eric Idle mostly. Just everything. Yeah, just everything that this film is. All You Need Is Cash. Please watch it. It's just brilliant Beatles parody. The Beatles themselves loved it. It's fantastic. Please vote this in. And if you don't, I'm not going to Jan Wenner this. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I won't. They've only been a finalist twice. I don't know why they haven't been more often. Maybe I'm not getting enough love from the UK.
Mm.
I haven't really checked. I've checked age demographics, which sort of fits what's going on here. This is sort of skewing a little older than I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know, right? Connor for real, right? That just came out 2 years ago. People,
Right.
I don't understand you, but that's okay. I don't have to.
Please keep voting and visiting the site.
Absolutely. So I guess this originated in the 70s. First time semi-finalist, the Schmengi Brothers.
Yes. Who I always presume that the polka band, really, that John Candy was talking about, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I know it wasn't actually the name of that band, but I always thought of it going back to this. So.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what the name of that band was. If
Uh,
I remember right, they were from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Yeah, hold on. I'll get it right now.
Yeah, so
But
actually,
I know that wasn't the band.
the Kenosha Kickers?
This is the picture in my head when they talk about it.
Maybe the Kenosha Kickers. I don't know. I found, actually, because I was just looking at old David Letterman clips when he was, like, in the first year of his NBC contract at the 12:30 slot. And he's got, some of these really interesting characters. Like, he just had whoever the hell he wanted. And it was the Schmengis in character.
Mm-hmm.
Promoting The Last Waltz. The Last Polka, which was their parody of the band's The Last Waltz.
Okay.
So Eugene Levy's now made this show twice. Go figure.
And I have a connection to Eugene Levy. Did I ever tell you this one before?
No.
So one of my good friends, Amy, was a reporter for magazines in New York for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Maxim had a spin-off magazine called the Maxim Movies Magazine. And she had to do the interview with the star at the end of the movie. And so this was, when American Wedding was coming out.
Okay.
And so she interviewed Eugene Levy, and she needed reader questions, but there weren't any readers yet because the magazine was brand new. And so the third question in there was me from Arlington, Virginia, where I had once lived, asking a question of Eugene Levy in the Maxim Movies magazine, the very first one.
What was your question?
It's so long ago, it's hard to remember these things that I come up with out of my brain.
Jesus, you bring that story up and you didn't think I was going to ask what the question was?
Yeah, well, I don't prepare stories in advance, so I don't remember things. So,
Hey, I tried to prep you better than last week.
that is true. That is true. So, anyway. Yeah, so where are we? We are the Rudels. Oh, no, we're at
The Schmengis. Yeah, so we'll just go right back up from alphabetical, and we'll just go through all the ones who are still left.
Okay, yeah. By the way, has Del Griffith come up from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
No.
Is he someone who you've ever had on the list?
No, but wait a minute. What did he play?
No, that's John Candy's character.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, like, what did he play musically?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're the guy. Anyway, go ahead, keep going. He's not the guy with Kenosha Kickers, or what? I'm trying to think of the name of his band. He's a vocal king in the Midwest.
Del Griffith, but that's a different movie. Same director.
He's from Home Alone. I'm sorry, I'm confusing multiple things. Keep going. I need to drink more or less.
Jesus, I'm the one who's like 7 beers in.
I'm a good third of a beer in, so.
All right, so we'll just rattle off the last batch. Andy Bernard, The Office. Bit of a surprise.
Yep. Yeah, that's more due to the popularity of that show, I think, than anything else.
And a bit of alphabetism.
Perhaps.
Not much to say there. A cappella singer. I do love Ed Helms, though.
Yes, Ed Helms is fantastic. Yeah, so... and next is the band that would be Kathleen Turner Overdrive. I said the next band is going to be the one that would be Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
Oh, Barry Giant and the Uptown Five.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, for the first time ever, you'd think High Fidelity would have a bit more representation, but...
High Fidelity is... I've actually saw the movie with live accompaniment, and I've seen the musical of High Fidelity live.
Well, let's back up. So, what do you mean live accompaniment?
Meaning, so I've done this with several movies now, where they'll have a live orchestra playing the music as it goes.
No shit. I didn't even know that existed.
So that one wasn't a live orchestra, it was a band. One of the coolest ones I did, the first time I ever saw Psycho, was at the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, played all the music from Psycho while this movie was going. So they basically were the soundtrack.
I didn't even know about stuff like that.
It's really cool. I've seen it with Jaws. I saw it with Buster Keaton movies. They had a guy doing all the music for the Buster Keaton movies, including Steamboat Bill Jr., which is the movie that has, we've seen the gag millions of times where the house falls apart, but it lands with the guy in the one window where he's safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's Richie from Steamboat Bill Jr., but all the sets were real. So he had to stand in a specific spot, and if he was off by a foot one direction or the other, he's basically getting killed. And that's how Buster Keaton did things. He was fantastic, and that was really cool. But yeah, if you ever have a chance to do that and go see someone, a band, a musical group playing live for something like that, it's fantastic. I know they were going to do one out here. My wife and I were looking at. They're going to be doing, one of the groups around here was going to be doing Jurassic Park with live music accompaniment. So
yeah, well, I live in Barbados, so basically, if they try to do that, it'll all be soca music, and it won't work.
Maybe they can do. I don't know. What is there? Is there a soca music movie out there?
Why do I think they could do something with that? What was that movie that Tom Cruise was in from the play? Stacey Jacks.
That's not ringing a bell.
Crap. It gets no love on this thing either. Was it like a big play and like with all these 80s, 90s songs, and Tom Cruise was the actor in it?
Rock of Ages?
That's the one.
Yeah, there might be. I don't think I've ever seen Rock of Ages. I suppose that's a possibility.
I fast-forwarded through it. I did not enjoy it.
Well, let's go to the next movie as we're fast-forwarding through this. I almost watched this movie last night because it's new on Netflix this week. Buckaroo Banzai and the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Yeah, I saw this one like 25 years ago.
It's exactly the same. I saw it 25 years ago, and it was on. I'm like, man, I should watch this again.
And here they are, semi-finalists. They've been here before. Cult film. A lot of people love it. I don't get it, but maybe I would now.
Yeah, I agree. I watched it and I thought this is a really freaking weird film, but it has Peter Weller and Jeff Goldblum, among other people, in this movie. It's a movie I just wanted to see again to get a better idea of, if I remembered it correctly, because it legitimately has been 25, maybe even,
even be longer.
At least 25 years since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So I was like,
but yeah, hey, I mean, like, third time semi-finalist, so people clearly care. Next one, I never really liked this film, but it's been a semi-finalist before. Dewey Cox, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. John C. Reilly.
Yeah, I love John C. Reilly. This is not my favorite of his films.
Yeah, same. But, hey, more power to him. Have we talked about Gem and the Holograms yet? No, we haven't.
We have not talked about Gem and the Holograms. Who's another one of my top four.
Not the film.
Candidates here.
And again, we're not talking about the film. We're talking specifically about the TV show. Haven't seen the film. I don't think I ever will. It doesn't look like anything I have any interest in watching. I barely, as a kid, wanted to watch Gem and the Holograms. I think when they had that, it was sort of that block. It would be the Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Gem. Because I guess like the Hasbro sort of triple bill. And I'd watch Transformers, G.I. Joe, and that's about it, really, because I don't care about Gem. But it was an interesting character.
It was too hard to change the channel, though, sometimes. So it just stayed on.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, I mean, like that lasted like 3 years. Sold a lot of merchandise, so clearly people cared.
And I have to say, the bad guys in that show, the Misfits, also are somebody who at some point may get some consideration.
They should. They absolutely should. Now, what they're really feuding over, I honestly don't know. I think if this was in the real world, I'd be Team Misfits all the way.
Right. But I'm going to say that Gem and the Holograms may be the first thing we have with two the Muppets can be the first one with probably two musical groups. So, because Ralph is going to get in before the Misfits. But they're going to be one of the first ones who are going to have two musical groups trying, I think, at some point.
Yeah, and I think the stench of the film is gone, if that makes any sense.
Most people forgot it existed.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the Rotten Tomatoes worst films ever. Which, I don't know. I can't really comment more than that. I haven't watched it. I won't watch it when we talk about this stuff again next year. I won't. So,
but you know who you will talk about next year, because I think she'll be nominated again. I don't think she'll quite get in.
Jessica Rabbit? Yeah. That film was so ahead of its time. Who Framed
Kathleen Turner? Kathleen Turner's Singing Drive.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. I gotta watch that film again. I haven't seen that in so many years, and I know, like back in the day, I saw that at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, one of the most terrifying bad guys, I think, in any movie I saw as a kid.
The Christopher Lloyd character. I don't remember the character's name.
Judge Doom.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, I never understood what she saw in the rabbit, though.
You know about rabbits and reproducing, my friend. That's what I'm going with.
That'll work. That'll work. Okay. Why?
So Johnny Karate. So let's get away from my last comment.
Johnny Karate, Parks and Recreation. I would have thought Mouse Rat would have been a better candidate, but hey, you guys all vote, so that's how it is. Played by Chris Pratt. I had to think about that. I was going to say Chris Evans, but that's another Marvel character.
I think it's Chris Hemsworth. No, Chris Pine. Wait, no, Chris.
Chris Jericho.
Oh, there we go. That's a nice one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think this is another one that I don't think is getting in, but unless the Parks and Rec stands really all vote at once.
No, yeah, exactly, and which they might, because Mouse Rat didn't make it this far, and they should. I I just actually binged watched this whole that whole series on Netflix. I forgot how good it was.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. So, you never know. It could be a surprise finalist. Marvin Berry and the Starlighters. I love this. I love this group. I love everything about it. I love how they essentially inspired rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if they allowed a white dude from the 80s to take credit for Chuck Berry.
Well, Chuck Berry would have took that stuff, and then he didn't tell anyone that he got that from somebody else.
Yeah, I know. It's just first of all, if you think about Back to the Future, as much as we love that, there is nothing about that movie that makes sense.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, everything. Because, especially if you just sort of, believe in the whole butterfly effect. So we're just, all this stuff changed, but then they sort of, it was the same sperm each time to create the three other kids.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Have you seen John Mulaney's thing on it?
No, but it sounds like I should. What does he say?
He's like, imagine the pitch meeting for Back to the Future. So there's this kid. He's got all sorts of trouble, right? And he's got this guy who's after him. Okay, we got it, yeah. And he's got this really eccentric friend. Oh, cool. Like the nerd in school? No, he's a disgraced nuclear scientist. Okay. He's much, much older. How'd they become friends? Oh, that's a good thing we probably should have established.
That is a big question, isn't it?
So they invent a time machine. They go back in time. Oh, and they're going to kill Hitler, right? No, he's going to try and fuck his mom. Yeah, so I highly recommend John Mulaney is much better at it than I am, but the pitch meeting for that is the way he did it out is fantastic. So that movie is that group, Marvin Berry and Starlighters, may end up with a lot of support just from how many people love Back to the Future.
I hope they never try to do that one again.
Yeah, agreed. They can redo Back to the Future 3 if they feel like it, though.
I like Back to the Future 3.
Another movie that I never wanted to see them redo is Top Secret.
I loved your segue movie. Out of there.
Thank you. I just wanted to talk about Nick Rivers and everybody skeet surfing USA.
Man, Top Secret. I love that film. Was that was the Zucker brothers too, right?
I think so. That I'm not sure of off the top of my head. They're the guys who, yeah, I think so. But yeah, that movie, start to finish, is ridiculous. And I don't know if it's Val Kilmer's first movie or second. I don't know if that or Real Genius came first. But it's everything you want in a stupid movie.
Well, he's a teen idol. He's a war spy. What more do you want?
Yeah, he's in East Germany, and of course they have a French underground, and there's the leader of the French underground, the Torch, and it still has one of my favorite flirtatious lines in any movie of all time. What's your name? My name is Hillary. Hillary, that's an interesting name. It means she whose bosoms defy gravity.
I don't remember that. I gotta watch that again. I just remember the two people in the cow.
What is your name? Nick. Nick, what does that mean? Nothing. My dad thought of it when he was shaving.
Love it. Love it.
I could quote that movie all day. So I am a big fan of Nick Rivers. And I hope that, I don't know if he'll get in. There's still some strong people, but I hope Nick Rivers is someday a member of this Hall of Fame.
Yes, Phoebe Buffay, Friends.
Smelly Cat, and Smelly Cat were her big hits, correct?
I believe that was it. There might have been a few others. I actually thought when Ross sort of played his electronica Kraftwerk-inspired music, might have been a little bit better, but what do I know?
Well, I'm going to let you talk about this because you know my opinion on Friends.
Yeah, you hate it.
Although I will say Phoebe Buffay is by far the best thing about Friends.
Really?
Yeah, she's the only redeemable character in that whole show.
What? No, explain that one to me.
I'm not sure what I have to explain. Like, who else is redeemable?
Well, because I like to consider myself sort of a modern-day Chandler, I'd say him.
Let's not go on a tangent. This will last 15 minutes.
Okay,
know
fine.
that I think Friends is terrible.
Okay, fair enough.
Really
All right,
it was the only decent part of it.
All right, so Phoebe Buffet.
We're already over an hour in. I don't want to go on a 15-minute.
All good. All good. Yeah. All right. Well, Phoebe could squeak in. It wouldn't surprise me. A finalist once before. People still love Friends. On this island, I've seen at least 3 people still wear Friends T-shirts. And no, Barbados is not 20 years behind everything else, unless it's sort of social commentary.
How many people do you see wearing Buffalo Bills championship shirts?
None. 0. I don't.
All right. Then you're fine.
Yeah. Buffalo Bills title. Oh my God! How many homeless people are wearing that still?
Yeah, I was in Bolivia and I saw somebody with I'm trying to remember. I think it was a 1993 Philadelphia Phillies championship shirt.
Oh, I wish I had that.
Yeah, he was driving. If I remember correctly, he had gotten out of a green 1970s era Volkswagen Beetle.
My dad picked up in Guatemala LA Dodgers hat, but around the LA symbol was New York Yankees. This is like just written in the Yankees font, so they got that part right.
That's good. Hey, you got to start somewhere, my friend.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, like if you've been to Central Perk, she's got your vote.
Mm-hmm.
This one could be interesting. The next few. Randy Watson Coming to America. I don't know if Murphy is reprising that particular character in the sequel. I hope so.
The Randy Watson.
You may remember him on that episode from That's My Mama. Damn it, I forget.
Randy Watson, again, another classic movie that's going to be interesting to see. You saying they're remaking it? I didn't hear that.
Well, not remaking it. Sequel.
Oh, sorry, sequel to it. Okay, that'll be interesting.
So I don't know if Murphy's dusted that particular one off. I hope so.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder.
It'd be interesting. That movie was fantastic.
What do you think the trade relations between Wakanda and Zamunda are? Zamunda. Like if those two African countries put everything together and the way everything's sort of going in the U.S. and Europe, and I don't think they've sort of been – Africa hasn't been hit with the coronavirus too much. They could dominate, man.
You pull in Eswatini and Burkina Faso, and you got something going, my friend.
The amazing thing is when people don't realize that Burkina Faso is really a country.
And so is Eswatini. Swaziland changed its name.
Oh, that's right, yes.
So it became Eswatini. So, anyway, I have no good segue from Eswatini to Desi Arnaz. So Desi Arnaz, he was Cuban. That's another country.
That'll work. Also, another country that the U.S. has no trade relations with. Ah,
true. There you go. Yes, along with Wakanda. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Eswatini, the crown prince, who I believe is now the king, went to college with me. So he was I was in the international studies program doing economic development at American University, and he was there too.
Oh, look at that!
So he wore a little crown, and he had 2 guys following him at all times.
Seriously?
So, yeah.
Damn.
They're like not like a real crown, like a coronet sort of thing, almost like a tiara.
Ew.
But yeah,
okay.
Good guy. He was a good guy. I had a class on. It was an economic development class with him.
Sounds
so
good.
I only had him in one class, but
So yeah, Ricky Ricardo, I Love Lucy, oldest in terms of when it was aired, I believe, in terms of the nominees. Been a semifinalist before. Way before my time. I never know why Lucy wanted to go to the club so bad. Probably because she knew that Ricky was cheating. That'd be my guess.
Perhaps.
Well, perhaps.
It was the 50s. It was expected. Haven't you seen Mad Men? That's a documentary.
You say that though. I mean, like I don't see why he wouldn't cheat. I mean, look at what he went home to. He couldn't even go in the same bed as Lucy.
Yeah, those are the days when nobody could be in the same bed.
Mm-hmm. Robbie Hart, our second singer-songwriter. Oh, you had something more on Ricky?
No, I was just going to say, it's good to see them here only because it's definitely the oldest character on this list.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how old stuff skews, I mean, I watch a lot of that show because my dad, like I said, was the age of Ennio Morricone.
Mm-hmm.
Marconi. This is probably the most famous musician from 50s television. So it wouldn't surprise me at some point he ends up inside. Anyway, that's it. Let's move on to the guy who sang the song that was playing when I cut the cake at my wedding.
Seriously?
Yep. The Robbie Hart's song he sings on the plane.
Oh, wow.
And yep, that's where we listened to I Want to Grow Old With You is what we cut the cake to. So
yeah, Sandler's not a bad musician in his own right. For the most part. I mean, like...
Gets a couple of hits.
You know, and not a bad athlete, too. I know people...
True.
I know that... sort of segueing here, but... You know, when he did that remake of Longest Yard... I didn't hate that movie.
Agreed. I didn't hate that movie either.
I mean, a lot of people did, you know, from the ones who watched that. Yeah, it wasn't the same in spirit, but it was a fine movie in its own right. I really enjoyed it. But whatever.
Probably true. I have to say, though, Adam Sandler is probably one of the few people, because he grew up in New Hampshire, mostly. I know he was born in New York. But yeah, he grew up he was born in Brooklyn. I was thinking of growing up, he went to Manchester, he grew up in Manchester, New Hampshire. So it's entirely possible that Adam Sandler is in the top 10 actors, musicians, and athletes from the state.
It could be. I'll give him credit too. He's sort of like Mike Myers in that way. Like in all his movies, he'll sort of like wear a T-shirt that sort of reflects where he comes from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no accident that in The Love Guru that it happened to sort of be a maple leaf. Unfortunately, that whole movie was an accident.
Right. Yeah, that movie was poor.
It was terrible in every sense of the world. But Robbie Hart could get in. Wedding Singer, love that movie. We'll see. We didn't really talk about Rob Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Mendelchuk.
Menderchuk.
Sorry.
Menderchuk. Please, respect your Canadian roots, my friend.
My bad. But did they make it? Did they make it?
They would have if they just replaced their guitar player.
My favorite...
You don't remember that? You don't remember that episode?
No, I don't remember that. I remember Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes showing up.
Yeah. He was the understudy, supposedly, for Kevin McDonald's character. And he came in and he was playing it, and Bruce McCullough, the drummer's like, I can't lie to you, I'm a drummer. It's in the drummer code. We're trying to kick you out of the band.
I thought he played the Angel.
Oh, who was... Oh, you're right. He did play the Angel. Who was playing the guitar to try and kick him out? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
It's been a while since I've seen the Kids in the Hall episodes. I just remember that one, and that there was a code that drummers couldn't lie. So...
But they never did make it. That's my favorite. That was going to be my fantasy football name, but I couldn't type it all through.
Yeah, well, you just leave out Herman Menderchuk. You'd be fine.
Yeah, but
Ron Torfelson's Armada would probably be enough if you could get it all in there.
Yeah, no one's going to know what the hell I mean.
Fantasy football names are for you, my friend, not for everybody else.
That's true.
My fantasy football team for the last decade has been the fetid chupacabras. It doesn't matter.
So we'll see. I don't see this going any further, but you never know.
No, agree. They're not going to go any further than that, I don't think.
Kind of a heavyweight next. Sex Bob-Bomb. Bob-Bomb.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
From Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, correct?
No, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Scott Pilgrim. Sorry, wrong one. Yes.
Yeah, another
Scott
one
Pilgrim
where Michael Cera sort of plays this mopey, whiny guy who gets hot girls, and you wonder, that's just not going to happen in the real world.
Well, that's basically his shtick. Although, have I ever told you about the Eisenberg uncertainty principle?
No.
The Eisenberg uncertainty principle is when you have a mopey guy who gets a girl and you're not sure whether it's Rob Serra or Jesse Eisenberg. But in this case, it is Sarah. But yeah, it's by the way, your link on the site goes to Lou Whitaker when you try and click on.
I noticed that today. There's a couple others that go to weird baseball players too. So, but yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, you're welcome. I just thought you were doing whatever you could to get Lou Whitaker in the Hall of Fame, which I know is one of your pet projects.
But I did see that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I screwed up the movie, but yeah, no, I've seen that movie. It's really good. It's a kind of a cult classic, even though it's a good movie anyway. And there's somebody who's definitely a contender for definitely being a finalist, and may find their way in with enough support.
Yeah, could very well happen. 2-time finalist, so we will see what sort of goes from there. And I'm going to leave this next one for you because this is your ultimate Claude Frollo.
This is. I feel like I willed this one into existence.
You did.
Sing Street. Sing Street, if you guys haven't seen the movie, it's from 2015-ish, somewhere around there. It takes place in Ireland. It's about a kid who's having trouble at home, comes from a kind of terrible family, who walks out of his Irish sort of, it's not boarding school because he goes home, but it's one of those schools that everybody has to wear a uniform when they get out of. And directly across the street is a home for basically female teens who have no parents, or troubled teens, basically. And he sees a girl out there smoking a cigarette, and is just absolutely struck by her, and says, "Hey, my friends and I are making a music video. Do you want to be in it?" She's like, "You have a band?" He's like, "Yeah, we totally have a band." And she's like, "I'll think about it." And he walks back across to his buddies and says, "Guys, we've got to make a band." And so they do. And it is a fantastic movie. It's got an awesome soundtrack. This takes place in the 80s, so every single band that his brother introduces him to, because his brother's like kind of a kid who should have made it and had a failure to launch and lives at home, is trying to introduce his brother to good music one record at a time. So they have a Flock of Seagulls phase where they all kind of dress like the guys from Flock of Seagulls. They go into a Cure phase. They go into Depeche Mode phase. And their music changes with it, and it is an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, see it. It's one of my favorite movies I've seen in the last decade.
Great film.
So that's my Sing Street.
So you want to stick with that sort of genre. The same movie in a way, well, not same movie, but similar idea. 25 years before, The Commitments.
Yeah, that is true. I never thought of it that way, but that is correct. So I went off on Sing Street. Why don't you do The Commitments?
Yeah, so like also based in Dublin, Ireland. This white guy just sort of like comes up and he wants to come up with the greatest soul band of all time, and he comes up with a pretty damn good soul cover band. This was, if I remember correctly, I should have researched this. You think I would have, because I wrote it down somewhere. Nominated for a couple Academy Awards, won some BAFTA ones, I know for sure, just for the soundtrack alone and just the music, and it's damn good music. Ireland and soul don't necessarily go together, but oh yeah, they do. And
I think you said on the site that it's maybe the greatest movie ever from Ireland.
I think so, but I'm a little bit biased. But yeah, I know. It's just something that I personally love. I feel about the Commitments the way you feel about, well, I was going to say about the way you feel about Sing Street. I don't think that's quite right, because the band I'm championing is the Ruddles more than the Commitments. But that's just sort of like my take.
Right.
Like just a phenomenal film, lots of fun, and just great music. What more do you want?
It's Go Ireland.
Yeah, it's a lot more than just U2 and the Cranberries.
Yeah, and the Dubliners and the Chieftains and
the Pogues.
Yeah, Pogues. Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor, yes. So we've got a few left. The Max Rebo Band, Return of the Jedi. Because, if you're going to be evil and you're going to have your own little... I don't know. What was he? What was Jabba the Hutt anyway? He just stole shit?
He was the Nero Wolf of bounty hunters.
All right. Sounds good.
He had the money and he sent other people out to do his work, and then he collected.
And then you need a band.
Exactly right.
And that's what he had. It's the Max Rebo Band. They're no Figure and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they may be dividing. The Star Wars fans have got to pick their band and go with it, get them into the finals.
Could very well be. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, Anakin Skywalker didn't make the semifinals of the Fictitious Athlete, so
pod racing hasn't really taken off yet. I know it will. Well, actually, I don't know. It's not the future. It was a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So, School of Rock.
Oh, yes.
You want to go there?
Yeah, School of Rock, another finalist, previous finalist. This one I think should be a heavy contender, although the more I think about it, holy crap. I mean, how did he not get sort of sued and arrested for all the stuff that he did with those, for those kids? He taught them nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I'm not sure being a bad teacher actually gets you sued and or arrested, but...
Well, I don't know. In the U.S., a lot of shit happens. I don't know. I mean, I come from a country where we don't sue everybody over everything.
Them fighting words.
You can sue me over it.
Yeah, paperwork's too tough.
Especially international.
Yes, true. I don't know if right now Bronx State's our coordinator of social RA over you.
I will say, though, I mean, just a great movie, one of my favorite Jack Black films, who's already in the Fictitious Hall for Tenacious D, which you could say that is real, but it's not. The Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is so weird in so many ways.
Yeah, because we have the Gorillas and we have the Monkees, who are both sort of real bands, but started out as not real bands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of these bands have also, too, then later performed. I think in a Bay Area festival, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem actually performed.
True, and we know that that Spinal Tap has performed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Alvin the Chipmunks.
In a live setting?
Oh, actually, that's probably not true. They perform in multiple shows. Never mind.
Okay. So, but yeah, they went there. They didn't win the Battle of the Bands, but they should have. So,
but it's the friends they made along the way that's really important, my friend.
No, absolutely. So, I mean, and it's a fun film. I could see them going further. This one always surprises me every time they sort of make it this far. The Soggy Bottom Boys from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Mm-hmm. That's a great film too, though.
It is, but I never really think of them as sort of a band that would get here. And they've been here. They've been finalists twice.
Yeah, but that's because you're not a man of constant sorrow.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you'd never underestimate the power of John Turturro and Tim Blake Nelson.
Clooney has nothing to do with it?
I guess the third guy. The guy, he was on ER, and wait, was he on Full House too for a while? I don't remember.
I think something like that. It was either him or Stamos. I confused the two.
Yeah, where's Jesse and the Rippers?
They didn't make it.
That's a travesty. It's a shamockery.
Their cover of Love Machine is certainly worth it.
Yeah.
That just leaves one. The only Elvis character that didn't completely suck in the movies.
That is being kind, but yes.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's even being accurate. Vince Everett.
I've seen several of those Elvis movies because my parents had us watch them, and they were never particularly that great.
Oh, they're horrible.
So.
Absolutely horrible. Vince Everett, Jailhouse Rock. Probably just got here this far just because of the one really cool, I guess, early rock video, I'd call it, of that same song.
Yeah. I guess it is an early rock video when you think about it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't consider that really representative of what I've learned about jail. Not that I would know that in this country. But...
Well, his follow-up of Don't Drop the Soap was not quite as well received.
Don't drop the soap. No, it didn't work? Okay, I tried.
It was a valiant attempt.
Thank you. But, oh my God, did he put out crap? Like crap after crap after crap.
Yeah, he had all those songs, but then he made like 6 movies a year at one point.
I think I have to check how many there are. I think there's actually like 13 preliminary nominees each year of Elvis.
Oh, wow.
Because, each film he sings something stupid.
Right. And he has a different name.
Yeah. It's...
all right, so let's stop out. So we've gone through everything here, and I know. So 2015 we had 3 inductees. 16, 17, 18 we had 2. Last year we're back up to 3. How many do you anticipate getting in this year?
3.
3. Okay.
I'll go on record. It's going to be 3.
Okay. Good. So last year our inductees were Stillwater, very worthy. Otis Day and the Knights, very worthy, and Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Not so much.
Very surprising.
Yeah, not so much.
2018, I don't think anyone has any problem with Alvin the Chipmunks or the Oneaters. that was a good class. 2017, we had Dr. Teeth. Definitely deserves to be there. And Wild Stallions making a comeback later this year.
Oh, I hope that movie doesn't suck.
I don't think it will. From what I've seen previews, it doesn't look like it's going to suck. So, the other movie that you were going to have to probably put on for next year that doesn't look like it's going to suck is the Will Ferrell movie about Eurovision.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that last week.
So it doesn't qualify yet, but that movie does not look like it sucks.
I enjoyed it.
Forward to that.
Yeah, I liked it.
So, all right. So the year for that, we had Gorillaz and Tenacious D, which is impossible to get mad at. And the year before that, we had, I think, the best class, the perfect 3 bands put in, which were Spinal Tap, the Monkees, and the Blues Brothers, another band that has played live.
Yep. When I created that was the 3 I hoped would get in. They did. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if I felt that way about the Monkees. The Monkees, I was really on the fence on. I mean, the Blues Brothers, okay, there is no Joliet Jake. He was not actually in jail. Spinal Tap. It's clearly, fictional. The Monkees' history is so muddled. They just pretty much hired 4 guys and they let them keep their names. Realistically.
It's hard for them to confuse that way. So.
Well, yeah, but that's really what they were. They just all happen to be decent musicians. and they morphed into that to, well, I don't want to say morphed into that, because that's not fair. They were allowed to prove what they could do.
And they could do it. I mean, Tony dances my entire career playing guys named Tony.
Bob Newhart.
And I don't think he could play any music.
Yeah, Bob Newhart pretty much played himself for decades.
Yeah, even up through the librarians. So see librarians.
Well, Newhart's a god to me.
Yeah, but they have seen the TV show The Librarians.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, it started as some campy. It's super campy. But it started as a campy show, movie starring Nola Wiley and what's her name, who plays Mystique in the X-Men movies.
Rebecca Romaine?
Rebecca Romaine. So it started with them, and then it branched out into more people, but Bob Newhart is heavily involved within that show as well. And he basically plays himself from Newhart as a super old man, because he is. But he's still fantastic.
Because he's all those things.
Yeah.
So I guess for next week, are we going to revert back to sort of the franchise Hall of Fame stuff?
Yeah, and then the week after, like I said, I think I'm probably going to have to take the week off because I'm going to be in northern Wisconsin with, let's just say, spotty cell reception.
No, fair enough. You wouldn't be offended if I just sort of like got a substitute guest host, would you?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Just so you know.
As long as they're not as sexy as I am. Face it, man. The chemistry's undeniable.
No, there's that. I'm just trying to think. Like, I was trying to come up with something funnier, and I had nothing.
That's why I jumped in. I gave you a minute, and there was nothing coming. I wanted to make sure.
Swing and a miss by Buchner.
No, absolutely. Go ahead. Bring someone else in. This is your thing. I am along happily for the ride. So
much appreciated. Where are you off to in Wisconsin?
A little town called Phelps, which is just north of Eagle River, which is a place people have heard of despite having a population of approximately 1,400 people. Phelps is a population of like 60.
Oh, okay.
I'm married into this trip with my wife. We rent some cabins up on a lake. There are going to be 19 of us, which is a little interesting in this COVID world. But we've all been pretty good about this and hoping that there's nobody up there. We're not really going to be interacting with anybody because we're going to be in the cabins on the lake, fishing. There's some things we normally do, like there's an animal park we sometimes go to. We won't do that. Horseback riding we sometimes do. We're not going to do that. But probably just be fishing. We may go up to Lake Superior, which is off of Peninsula, Michigan. Go in there because hardly anyone wants to go in that water because it's freaking freezing. But we may just go up there and spend a day there, depending on what the weather is. And we'll be quarantining with like basic family. So
just stay out of Wanker County.
Stay out of where?
Wanker County.
Fair enough. Yes, we'll stick up in Violets County. Yeah, Wanker County sounds like a place you don't want to be.
Oh, it's from Peggy Wanker, Married with Children.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm a little slow. I should have known that.
Yeah, not all my references make sense.
Yeah, Married with Children was not the first thing off the top of my head. So, nice. Had we been talking about Al Bundy like last week, it might have come. But anyway, so I think that's good. I think we did a good job with the nominees. There are a few, like I said, that I'd like to see there. Jesse and the Rippers is a massive oversight to me, but we're only one vote, my friend.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll see you next week. Stay safe.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Look for new content on the regular from NotInHallOfFame.com, and we hope everyone's having a great day. Thanks again. 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 Thanks again.